Hi guys, welcome back. In the last video, I differentiated between rational and irrational number, and I said both of these numbers can appear in terms of radical. So when they appear in terms of radical, what you can use actually to differentiate between two of them is whether the number you have inside the radical is perfect square or not. You understand now? So don't forget this radical. Radical is something in terms of root. So being it square root, cube root, or fourth root. So when you have a radical like this, and I have a number here, this number can what? Can be rational number, and it can be irrational number. So it's going to be rational number if your A is what? If your A is perfect square. What is perfect square? Perfect squares are those numbers you can take their square root. So, but it will give you an irrational number if A is what? It's not a perfect square. So, for example, when you have square root of 3, square root of 5, so these are irrational number. And I said these irrational number are called surds. So in this video, I'll be explaining some of the rules guiding sort. So to better, give you an explanation, to explain it better to you, let me give you an example. Let's say I have that my A is equal to 9 and B is equal to 16. So the first law I'm going to talk about is what? So it's the multiplication law. So what that is saying is this, look up. Let's say if I have square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 16. You know square root of 9 will give me 3, multiplied by square root of 16 will also give me 4. So 3 times 4 is going to give me 12. Okay. So likewise, when I have square root of 9 multiplied by 16, you know I have them individually here. Okay, now what if I combine them together? You understand now? So you know 16 multiplied by 9 will give me what? Let us multiply it together. 16 times 9, 9 times 6, that is what? I think that is 54. So you write 4, you keep 5. 9 times 1, that is 9 plus 1, so that's 144. You have square root of 144. And square root of 144 is 12. What do you observe? You observe that whether you have the number inside this radical individually like this, when they are inside the radical individually or they are together inside the radical, you are going to have the same result. So in general, when you have square root of A multiplied by square root of B, so then it's the same thing as what? So square root of what? So square root of AB. You understand now? So root A multiplied by root B is same thing as square root of AB. In essence, when you have square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 4, and you don't want to stress yourself, so this one will give me square root of 3 times 4, which is equal to square root of 12, which is equal to square root of 12. So that's the first law. So the second law, which it's actually a derivation from the first law, is okay. What if you now have the same number inside the radical? Let's say I have square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 9. You know, square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 9 based on the first law, that's going to give me what? Square root of 9 multiplied by 9, right? And square root of 9 will now give me square root of 81, which is equal to what? 9. So in essence, what this one is saying is that when you have the same number inside the radical and you are multiplying them together, you don't need to stress yourself. Your result will be that number inside the radical. In essence, square root of A multiplied by square root of B multiplied by square root of A is same thing as what? It is same thing as A. It is same thing as A. If that is cleared, what of this one? So if I have square root of 16 divided by square root of 9, you know this one will give me what? 4 divided by 3. which is same thing as 4 divided by 3. You understand now? So, you have the radical individually like this. Okay, let's see if we have them together. Square root of 16 divided by square root of 9. So that's going to give me what? So you can give them one by one. That's going to give me what? Square root of 16 divided by square root of 9. That's going to also give me 4 divided by 3. So it means you don't need to stress yourself. So when you have, the same number, or when you have a number inside the radical and you have to divide the two numbers by themselves. In general, when you have square root of a divided by square root of root b, it means you don't need to stress yourself. The same thing as the square root of what? Of the quotient of that two numbers inside the radical. You understand now? So in essence, when you have square root of 25 divided by square root of 9, then you don't need to stress yourself. This one will give me what? Square root of 25 over 9. The same thing as 5 divided by 6. I hope you understand now. So that's another law. That's another law. But you have to note that your square root of a plus square root of b, it is not the same thing as what? Square root of a plus b. Oh, don't generalize it. For example, okay, let's take for example square root of 9 plus square root of 16. Is it going to, square root of 9 here will be 3 plus 4, which is equal to 7. Okay, let's say if you add them together, 9 plus 16 here. So that's square root of what? So 9 plus 16 will give me 25. So that's what? 5. You can see 7 is not equal to 5. So you understand now. So, but if you want to add together, what you must add together are the what? Numbers or sort having the same what? Radical. Take for example, I can have s root a plus y root a. You can see that they have the same root a. So then the same thing as what? S plus y root a. It's just like when you are saying root a plus 2 root a. So 1 root a, 2 root a. 1 pen, 2 pen. This is going to give me what? 3 pen. So this is going to give me 3 root a. You understand now? So this is also applicable to subtraction as well. So D, so you can say root A minus root B, it's not the same thing as what? Root A minus B. You understand now? So it's not the same as that. For example, you cannot say root 9 minus root 16. Root 9 minus 16 will give me 3 minus 1, which is minus 1. What if you have them together? That's 9 minus 16. So 9 minus 16 will give me minus 8, right? So you can see they are not equal. You can see they are not equal. So, but you can as well have the same radical. You can subtract the same radical from each other. They are coefficient. For example, when you have s root a minus y root a, so you can see they have the same radical. You just realize having a pen and another pen. So you understand. So this is going to give me s minus y root a. So likewise, when you have 2 root a minus root a, so that is 2 pen minus a pen. That's going to give you root a. In general, don't forget these are the law. Generally, so when you have root a multiplied by root b, the same thing as root ab. So then the second one is when you have root a multiplied by root a, you don't need to stress yourself. It is a. So likewise, when you have root a divided by root b, the same thing as square root of a divided by square root of a divided by b, right? So likewise, I say your root a plus root b is not the same thing as what? It's not the same thing as root a plus b. Rather, when you can add the coefficient. So when what? You are having the same what? When you're having the same radical. So in essence, x root a plus y root a is going to give me what? You just add the coefficient, so, and the radical. So that is when you have s root a, that is s pen plus what? Y pen. Just, think of this radical as what? As an entity. You understand now? Likewise, when you have root a minus root b, You have to be careful. It is not the same thing as root A minus B, right? So rather, root SA minus root B, the same thing as what? S minus Y. So root A, sorry. This is supposed to be A. So an A. You understand now? So these are some of the laws I'll be applying in the previous videos, in the subsequent videos. So please, you have to keep them. So the multiplication, the addition, subtraction, as well as the division. Till I see you in the next video. Thank you.